smaller person, anything can happen. Anybody can be knocked out. Because remember, the chin don't lift weights. That's what I always say.
Heavyweights as the sparring, or bigger people, like from middleweight to heavyweight. And the thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring.
Floyd Mayweather was truly shocked after seeing Gervonta Tank Davis knock out a heavyweight. During sparring for the Jake Paul fight, Floyd said, "People still don't understand that size doesn't decide boxing. A bigger body can fall just as fast if the opponent has speed, power, and perfect timing." He explained that a smaller fighter can absolutely knock out a larger one, and Tank just proved it again, dropping a man way above his weight.
Anybody can be knocked out, so I don't put nothing past nobody. I can be knocked out. Hit me from the blind side. I mean, that's most time how fighters get knocked out, with the hook. You can't see a hook coming because it comes from the blind side. But as far as with boxing, I don't really need to beef with. I really don't need to beef with nobody in a sport of boxing. Even though it could be some people I really don't like, I don't need to beef with nobody. They ain't got what I got. They boxers. I'm a businessman. And then on the outside, most time, a motherfucker got beef with me because they ain't got what I got.
Gervonta Davis has made a career out of challenging himself against bigger men long before this upcoming clash. Coaches say testing his explosiveness against heavier athletes keeps him sharp, calm, and comfortable under pressure. It forces him to stay quick on his feet, to punch with precision, not panic. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has been sparring with shorter, elusive boxers to mimic Tank's movement. Both camps understand one truth: physical size doesn't guarantee victory for Davis. Years of conditioning built around durability have shaped his toughness. For Jake, it's about strategy, cutting, distance, and finding clean angles. In this fight, discipline and tactics may outweigh raw size.
Remember this story? I've brought it up a million times, and I've showed this clip a million times, but on Ellie Set Back. This story of this guy saying how Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out this heavyweight. Thing is, don't be surprised, okay? This is a photo. This is a photo of one of the bigger guys that he was sparring.
Tell me the story. What happened?
Tank, what's the one boy name?
No, don't say a name. I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the ropes just like this. I'm like, I thought he died. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought he died.
Hey, I've seen him knock out some heavyweights.
Who?
Knock all the ass out now.
You knocked out a heavyweight?
Yeah.
How was that?
Cause I hit harder than Wilder.
That's Raymond Ford. That ain't Gervonta Davis. You know, I love Raymond Ford. I have him on my fighters list. But still, I don't think anyone thinks he's as skillful or as powerful as Gervonta Tank Davis.
Recent camp reports describe scenes of Davis dropping sparring partners much taller and stronger. Witnesses said the surprise wasn't just his power, it was his accuracy. Big men expecting to bully him found out fast it was a mistake. Those punches landed, and they stayed down. The whispers inside camp say Tank's power carries shock value far beyond lightweight divisions. His compact stance and explosive upper body momentum let him generate instant force. That's what makes him dangerous, no matter who stands in front of him.
So look at this. Gervonta Davis knocked out heavyweight in brutal sparring session. And it just makes me think, you're willing to go spar with heavyweights, but you're not willing to go fight people that you should be fighting. You know what I mean? You're fighting Lamont Roach. His sparring partners was like, man, I was about to spar Tank. He was sparring this big boy, a heavyweight boy. And Tank hit him so hard, he was on the ropes like this, hanging. I thought he died. I was like, man, I hope you don't do this stuff to me. When Davis asked to confirm whether it was true, the WBA lightweight champion said, stuff be happening. Best not to get in there with me. That's it. This guy has all the skills in the world to knock out even heavyweights in sparring, and yet he won't fight Shakur Stevenson. He won't fight Teofimo Lopez. He won't fight anyone that he needs to fight to become great. He's fighting Frank Martin and Lamont Roach. You know what I mean? It's just truly crazy. But hey, it's his career. If he wants to just make money, the easiest money that he can without fighting the hardest competition, so be it.
One popular analyst warned fans not to judge Davis by his last fight. Even when expectations weren't met, he survived, adapted, and stayed calm. The mark of a seasoned pro. Jake Paul has heart, but he hasn't faced that level of chaos. Tank's bad nights become lessons. Jake's bad nights are still uncharted territory. Fans calling for an upset are ignoring experience, and in boxing, experience decides everything when the lights hit. Boxing legend Carl Froch has raised safety alarms about this matchup. He worries the weight gap could create real danger if the fight gets out of hand.
Jake Paul is not beating Tank Davis. Can't believe I actually have to make this video, but let's break this down. Fact that there's actually credible names in the boxing industry saying that Jake Paul's gonna KO Tank Davis is wild. Look, I know Tank Davis's last performance against Lamont Roach was not that good. And in recent years, he's devalued his stock as a fighter by cherry picking, being extremely inactive, and just straight up fighting lazy sometimes. But let's not forget the offensive powerhouse that Tank Davis is. When he's on, he's one of the best knockout punchers in the sport today. He usually fights very economical the first few rounds, whether that's by strategy or that's just a habit he's had ever since he started boxing. But he starts out very slow in the first few rounds. But once he starts to let his hands go and that snowball starts running downhill, there's almost nothing in the sport of boxing that can stop that. You need a guy who has elite defense to be able to stop an offensive assault like that. Only guys like Shakur Stevenson, Drawn Ennis, and maybe Devin Haney have the ability to stop that. And then we have Jake Paul. Yes, he's 6'2". Yes, he's going to be 200 pounds in the ring. But as you can see with his fight with Tommy Fury, he has poor defense. Whenever he faces another boxer who actually knows what they're doing, once they let their hands go, Jake doesn't know what to do. He's not comfortable defending, whether that's moving his feet or moving his head or just having a tight high guard. He doesn't do it. He gets fatigued and starts dropping his hands, and that would be fine if he had good movement to make up for it, but he doesn't. He has some pretty decent offense, but he mainly throws punches and combinations for the first 4 or 5 rounds and then gets fatigued. He's not a true one-punch knockout artist, and he's not a very good strategic fighter either when it comes to winning decisions. So what's going to happen is Jake Paul's going to throw combinations for the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then right when he gets tired, Tank's going to come on strong and start unloading with the hardest punches that Jake Paul has ever been hit with. And he'll get stopped. It might not be a one-punch knockout, but Jake Paul will get stopped.
Sometimes, you chase visibility, and then there's the elephant in the room, the weight difference. Analysts agree Jake Paul's size and power are real factors. If he lands clean, Davis could be in serious trouble. But others argue Tank's timing, precision, and defense can neutralize that advantage. They remind fans that boxing isn't a body contest. It's a mind game with gloves. Execution beats mass. Skill beats strength. And Gervonta Davis has made a career proving that exact point.
It's like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden the traffic gets heavy and you're like, man, I'm going to be in traffic for a long time. And then you drive forward a little bit and then you see, oh man, this is some accident on the other side of the road and everybody just slowing down to watch. That's the type of entertainment that you can expect from this fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. There's going to be a lot of people watching it, but I got to say, man, you really can't blame the guy on what he's doing. And there's a lot of criticism flying on Gervonta Davis. It's not Gervonta Davis's fault that boxing took this turn. This turn of these exhibition fights and people not caring about, like, no, this dude he's going to get this money for sure because there's so much money out there to be had. But Jake Paul better be not playing around, man. Not get cute, not play any games. Don't hit him in the back of the head. Don't rabbit punch him. Don't do any of that stuff, man, because Mike Tyson, first of all, Jake Paul to beat Gervonta Davis. This is not a fight that I'm excited for at all. I would rather have Gervonta Davis fighting in a real boxing match against the likes of Lamont Roach, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Emmanuel Navarrete, anybody that is in the 135-pound division and around. That's who I want to see Gervonta Davis fight. However, we live in a world where everybody is trying to do things as big as possible. And the biggest fights possible right now, unfortunately for the sport of boxing, is an exhibition fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. So I do like it for this reason, though. I like it because it is allowing Gervonta Davis to to have a fight that is going to be big and that the mainstream media is going to have to cover, the mainstream media outside the world of boxing. Gervonta Davis has been, without a doubt, blocked, having venues blocked, having fighters, having other promoters paying fighters away to go different directions from Gervonta Davis. So Gervonta Davis was in a bit of a hole.